Hello everyone. So today we will learn one networking concept that is a virtual local area network. So in this tutorial you will learn from the scratch level what exactly LAN is, right? How to configure LAN, right? Then gradually we move ahead with another scenario of virtual LAN. Then we move ahead of Inter-VLAN, right? So you will learn the complete concept about the local area network. Along with this, I will also give you some applications, some scenario as well, where you can fit the virtual local area network. But this is very basic tutorial. You will learn the concept of virtual local area network, right? So let's get started our hands dirty with this three scenario. So let me use my pane here. So first of all, we will learn LAN scenario, right? So basic, you are going to configure the LAN, right? Then we perform the VLAN and then we perform inter-VLAN. So you have a complete idea about the LAN concept and VLAN concept. And we will perform this three scenario using Cisco packet tracer, right? So let's start first of all. So guys, you already know that these are the networking devices from the very beginning when you just start learning networking subjects or like networking stuff. You always first like start with this kind of basic things like networking device like switch, router, hub, repeaters, right? Bridge. So today we are going to focus on a two device out of this. One is the switch, and then after in one scenario we will use router. Okay. So switch is for local area network that is known for, right? And router is for to send a data from or send a packet from one network to another network, right? But again, here you can say this is layer 2 device and layer 3, right? Or layer 2 switch and layer 3 switch, right? So router act as a switch as well as a router, right? So router have a switching functionality too, right? So sometime you will be heard about layer 2 device and layer 3 device. So whenever you heard that layer 3, it means that is nothing but your they are talking about router. Okay, so let's go inside and start with the LAN. So okay, before starting the first scenario, what exactly LAN is, right? So LAN, you all know that local area network, right? So local area network is a collection of networking equipment located geographically close together, right? Or we can see in a single room or in a campus, right? So again, in a local area network, data transfer speed is always high, right? We can say like 1 Mbps to or Mbps to gigabits. Okay, upper limit is of the designing the local area network is up to 10 kilometer, and lower limit in terms of distance when you design the LAN, it's a 1 kilometer, right? So most probably when you set up this kind of LAN network, you will use twisted pair cable or maybe coaxial cable, right? And end devices is maybe your laptop, desktop, right? Or maybe some kind of workstation. Are you getting my point? So here I just give you one simple scenario with the help of one diagram. So let's consider this is one campus, right? And in this campus there are like multiple buildings are there, right? Okay. So this is campus, building A, building B, building C, and building D, right? So for this specific scenario, I'm going to consider one building out of this four, right? So let's take lab A, or we can say building A. So this is building A, right? So in this building, we have 20 computers, or like let's say some limited number, so we can easily learn it, right? So these are around 8 computers we have, right? So how you can connect this? Of course, the first thing is LAN, right? So using LAN, you can connect these all computers so they can communicate with each other. So IP range, but obvious is also same, right? Either you assign the private range or maybe a public range, but most probably when you use LAN network, right? You have to use private IP address range. Okay, again there is a like different like point of discussion like public and private IP address. But here there are three category of private IP address which start from 10, 172, and 192. Right. So these are the three range of private IP addresses which is always used in a local area network, or we can see in a private network. Right. So we are going to assign first of all the IP addresses of uh, all these computers, right? And then we will check. So basically, when the computers are connected in a local area network, they all are by default communicate with each other. This is the basic concept, right? So let's start with the first scenario. So here you can see I have one switch that is over here, right? And I have a 4 PC and one laptop, right? So forget about the function of this or role of this laptop right now in this scenario. Just take 4 computers and one switch. So here the scenario is such like we have a two type of user in a one campus, right? So this is one campus and we have a two type of user, student and faculty, right? So I have created a simple network over here, right? So in this scenario, student can communicate with the faculty and faculty can communicate with the student. This is very simple. So let's see and implement on a packet tracer. So first of all, you guys know that the packet tracer. If you don't know, then you just go through with some tutorials, which is in a help section of the top menu bar, right? So let me use the switch section where you can take one switch, right? Uh, First of all, let me take end devices. Okay, now let's connect. So here, see, there are separate cable is also available. Like if you have some specific requirement, you can take it from here, right? So that depends. If you are going to connect similar devices, then it's a different type of cable. If you use different type of devices, then cable type is different. Okay. So here I'm going to use automatically choose the network connections, or we can say type of cable. So again, switch also have operating system, guys. So here you can see it will take some times, right? So here is the dot color is different, but when you have a green color, it means that your router port are up and ready to send and receive the data, right? But before that, we have to configure this. So let me assign the name one by one. So this is student one, right? Student two, right? And this is student, sorry, faculty one, faculty one, right? And this is faculty two. Okay. Now let's assign IP address. So first of all, click on this, go to the desktop. There is IP configuration tab. So just type 10.0.1.1. This tab, this is the subnet mask because this is the class A IP address. So only first 8 bit you have to convert into one and remaining is a based on your requirement, right? Same way, just assign IP address for the faculty, sorry, student 2, it's 10.0.1.2, right? Now here I'm going to use for the faculty member, it's IP range is the same, but it's 2.1. Okay, now let's check. So guys, now I have almost completed LAN configuration, but here you can see for the testing purpose on a right hand side bottom part, there is one arrow which you have to click on that. So you will get some kind of like window where you will see the status of your connectivity. Right. So here there is one packet which you have to we can say simple PDU. Here you have to click on it. You have to click on a source and you have to put it on a another click on a destination, so you will find the status. See, it's a successful. Same way you can check for any computers, right? Successful. Now let's check for student to faculty. This is very important. See, student, faculty, or everyone can communicate with each other. See, from student to faculty, faculty to students. Okay, so this is all about LAN network. Okay, one more thing here, you can see these are the list of port available on a LAN, sorry, switch, right? So here you can see almost 24 fast Ethernet port, 2 giga Ethernet port, gigabit Ethernet port, right? So these are the ports available. So in majority of our topology, right? When you go for some private network or some like organization, some institute, when they have a network topology, so your computer, most probably desktop, right, or laptop, through the wired connectivity, that is always to the switch first, right? And then after switch connected with the router. The same way you can check at your place. Right now you guys are using laptop or maybe desktop. So at your home there is one router. So router, you just check, go just turn it on a backside and just see the number of port in a router. There are very limited ports available, and like for example, majority of router have a 5 ports. Out of 5, one is for WAN network and remaining 4 is for LAN network. So you can only connect 4 computers, right? But if you have a more than 4 or like 10, 20 computers, in that case you have to introduce switch. Okay, so this is all about LAN. Now let's go for next configuration, or we can say now initially one campus or one institute want to design the LAN network. Now it's set up, but day by day student is going to increase, and number of like security they also have to increase, right? And they want to apply some kind of restriction of access to the students and faculty, right? So now there is one requirement, right? So I want to assign specific access to my students and full access to my faculty members, right? So what you can do, the network is already set up, the topology is already set up. What you can do, first option is that either you have to add network devices, like for separate for student and separate for faculty member. Either you have to use one router, right? And you have to create 2 different network, and you have to assign the 2 different range of IP address, and according to that you can block it, right? But if you don't want to change anything and you want to implement the same kind of restriction in the existing topology, then how you can do it, right? So for that we have an option, it's called VLAN, right? So organizations benefit greatly from this kind of advantage of VLAN usage, right? So it will including the performance upliftment, more flexibility in a network configurations, and work group formation. Work group formation, as I told you, there's one group for student and one group for faculty member, right? So there are a few advantages as well of a VLAN, right? So that point we will discuss later, but let's configure now VLAN, right? So guys, what is VLAN? So VLANs are, see, LAN you already know. The only one extra word over here that is added, it's called VLAN. So we have created this group, right? We have created this group, right? We have assigned IP addresses, right? And we have checked both are all are right now communicating with each other. But here you can see, as I told you, now there is one scenario. I want to make one group of student and one group of faculty. So student can communicate with each other, right? Faculty can communicate with each other, but student and faculty cannot communicate with each other, right? Second point, I want some specific access to the student group, right? For example, only mail access or Gmail access, right? And I want all the access, full access for the faculty, right? So as I've told you, either you have to use different network device, right? And you have to add some extra configuration for that, okay? But the second thing, I don't want to add any extra thing. I want to implement the my like advanced restrictions or features in the same existing topology, which is right now working, right? So my first requirement is that only student can communicate with each other, or student can send only data with each other, right? Same with the faculty, but student and faculty cannot send data to each other. So this is my first requirement, so that we can fulfill with the help of VLAN, right? So V means virtual, right? So we have right now physical LAN, right? Now we are going to divide this physical LAN into virtual LAN, Okay, so virtual LAN are logically grouping of devices in a same broadcast domain. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Okay, so VLAN are usually configured on switches by placing some interfaces into one broadcast domain and some interfaces on another broadcast domain, right? So each VLAN act as a subgroup of switchboard in an Ethernet LAN. Okay, so you can say VLAN can spread across multiple switches as well. That is our next scenario. But right now we are configuring the VLAN with the help of one switch only. Okay, so see, these are the like physical. Now what we are going to do? We are going to do these all port in a two separate virtual environment, right? Okay, or we can you can say like it's completely two different virtual network. Okay, so let's do the configuration, right? So this is the question mark. As I told you, what to do if you want this kind of restrictions and configuration, right? So answer is virtual LAN. Okay, so here is the scenario, right? So how to configure this? Let's see. First of all, right now in your switch, by default, all ports are in a default VLAN. Let's see how it's. We'll just click on it. See, this is the back view, right? Back view of your switch. These are almost 24 ports and two ports are Giga Ethernet, right? So now let's go inside CLI, right? I hope you guys can see its font sizes. Please, when you deal with the networking device configuration, please go through with CLI because it is very helpful to like understand some basic concept in details. UI is also good, but do practice with the command. Okay, so yes, first of all, this is called execution mode, right? So there are different type of execution mode you have, right? So you have to take care of that first, right? So this is user execution mode, right? So in a switch and in a router, in a both devices, first of all, by default, in a you are in a user execution mode. Once you type enable, right, then you will be in a configuration mode, sorry, privilege mode, right? But before that, see, if you don't know anything about what to perform in this mode, just type question mark, right? So you will get all the option of command which you can execute over here, right? Connect, disable, enable, right? So here you can see there is one command enable to turn on your privilege command. So let's type enable. Okay, now you are in a privilege execution mode, right? So again, if you don't know, just type question mark, right? You have all the detailed list of command which you can configure over here, right? So out of these all commands, I first of all, before you start, please assign some name to your switch, right? So it will be more appropriate to deal with multiple switches when you work with the professional setup of network and all that. Okay, so here you can see, first of all, you have to change your privilege mode to configuration mode. So just type configuration. When you once you write a few character, you have to just press tab, right? So it will automatically take first terminal, right? Now you are in a configuration mode. Now here you can see the name is a host name, right? So every time you have to execute this command, so it will give you the switch name, host name, and I'm going to assign this is building building A. Okay. Now you once I click on enter, you see the changes over here, right? See, now this is building A switch. Okay, clear. Now let me go back. We are in a still privilege mode. Now we will see the default port address. So there is one command, it's called show. So which information you can show? You just type command show and press question mark. This list of information you can see, even you can see history, how many list of command you have executed on this specific switch, right? We all the other information, right? Almost like 29 different commands you will find, but we are right now working on a VLAN, so I want to show the VLAN configuration. See, this is the default, this is VLAN number, this is the VLAN name, status is active, and these are the all the 24 ports, even 26, including Giga Ethernet port, right? So here you can see in this slide, these all are in a default VLAN, and that's why they all are communicate with each other, which you have learned in a basic level of networking part, right? So LAN is nothing but all computers can communicate with each other, those who are connected with the same switch. Okay, clear? So what we are going to do now, we are going to divide, or we are going to create another LAN, and we will remove some port from the default VLAN and switch to the next one. So let's see, right? So what I have done, so I have removed last 6 port from the default VLAN to faculty, and remain another 6 port from default VLAN to student VLAN, right? So this is the VLAN number, this is the VLAN name, right? So once we create this, you will find two more entry over here. One is 10 over here and 20. Name is student and faculty. And whatever port you are going to remove from here, you will add it in a student and faculty. Okay. So let's start one by one. So here you can see. So these are the list of command, right? So let me do the thing one by one. Open Switchboard, right? So here I'm going to type parallelly, right? So first of all, you have to type configuration, because we have to configure VLAN, configure terminal, right? If you want to do any kind of configuration, you have to switch from privilege mode to configuration mode. Okay, clear? Now just type VLAN. Here we have to type number. See what we have to type? Number. Okay, so VLAN number is, let me go back. What is the number for student? Is 10, right? So here is a 10, right? Now we have to assign the name of VLAN. So VLAN name is student, right? Oh, sorry, VLAN name, I think command mistake. Just I have to type name, because I have already in a VLAN configuration mode, right? And name is student. Okay, now it's added, right? One VLAN is created. Same way I'm going to create another VLAN. So exit from here, VLAN number is 20, right? We are in a VLAN, another VLAN, name is faculty, right? So it's done now. Now let's see, two VLAN is created or not, right? So click on show VLAN, right? Yeah, see, two VLAN is now created. There is a no port we till so far we have removed from the default and put it over here. Now our next task is this. Okay, so let's go ahead. Just click on this, go back to configuration mode, right? Then execute one by one this command. We have already done it. Yes, now configure VLAN. So configure terminal first. So now we are in a configuration mode. Now VLAN 10 name students. We have already done this part, right? 100 student, 200 for faculty. Exit. We have already see this. Even if you want to show more detail about VLAN, you can type this command as well. Show VLAN brief. Okay, clear? Now we are going to configuring access port, right? So the specific port we are going to move from one specific default list to specific switch. Okay, so first of all, we have to identify the student port from this topology. So what you have to do, you have to just move over your cursor on a specific port of a switch. So here you can see student 1 connected with the fast Ethernet 0 1 port on a switch, right? And another student is connected on a switch with fast Ethernet 0.2, right? So we are going to remove these two ports from the default list to student VLAN. Okay, clear? Okay, now let's go to configuration mode, right? Just type interface fast Ethernet. See, there are different type of interfaces you will find. Once you type interface, you have to type question mark. See, these are the different types of interfaces, right? So now just type fast Ethernet. Which two port? Fast Ethernet 0/1. Right? So now we are in a specific port, right? For example, this is the switch, right? And this port is F01, right? Once you type this and once you enter in a specific fast Ethernet port, now whatever command you will execute, that will perform over on this specific port, on this specific interface, right? So now you just see, let's type what you can do over here. See, in this specific port you can perform this list of command, right? But now we are going to switch that port, right? So just type switch port, right? What you can do, there are two type of mode. See, you can do access mode, right? You can say trunk mode, right? There are lots of other advanced features are there you can configure, but here we are going to remove the port from one default VLAN to default VLAN to a specific student VLAN, right? I will explain the main concept of access port as well, right? So what is the meaning of access port, right? Access, right? Click on enter, right? Now next command, switch port access. Now we have removed that port using this command, right? This is the switch mode access. So it means we are going to switch this specific 0/1 port, and now we are moving into the VLAN number 10. You have to remember VLAN number, okay? So here you can see VLAN number 10, okay? Clear? The same way we have to do for another interface, okay? So interface fast Ethernet 0/2. Okay, now switch port mode access, right? Switch port access VLAN 10. Okay, clear? Now let's see the VLAN configuration, that two ports are there or not. Yes, see, now in a student VLAN there are two ports, okay, and you can see they are removed from the default one. Okay, now let's see they are communicating with each other or not. Okay, so now let me highlight this area with a specific color. We can say like this. Okay, okay, now let me erase this so you can see the packet. Is it successful? Yes. Now I am trying to send from student to faculty. See, it is failed, right? Even from faculty to student, that is failed. Why? Because now these two ports are not in the category of default VLAN. Okay, so that's why we are going to create another VLAN for the faculty member. Okay, clear? Right. Let's do the same thing for the faculty. Let me open Switchboard. This is the CLI of switch. Okay, let's go inside. What we have to do? We have to type configuration terminal interface. Okay, we have to check the terminal of this two as well. So these two terminals are 03 and 04. Okay, let's go back and perform it. Fast Ethernet 0/3, right? Okay, now let's perform switch port mode access, right? Then type again switch port access VLAN 20. Okay, because VLAN 20 is for faculty member. Okay, now do the same thing, exit again interface fast Ethernet 0/4, right? And then type switch port mode access, right? Switch port access VLAN 20. Okay, Now you just see the same thing over here. So VLAN. Okay. Now you can see faculty also have a two ports, and now 3 and 4s are removed from the list. See. Okay, so let's check. Let me erase this. Yes, it is fail. Let's check one more time. Why it is fail? Because when we change the port, right, the status of this port change from orange to green to orange, and again from orange to back green. That's why this first one is a fail. Right, now let me add one more computer and let's test. Right, let me connect. Let me give the name of this PC. We can say admin. Okay, now let's check. Let me erase this. Is it accessible? Fail. Is it accessible for fail? Right, even faculty to student is also not accessible. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Clear? So now I'm going to change color, the specific. Okay, now we have a two different VLAN, right? This is for student and this is for faculty. Clear? Now, before that, let me go back to the slide. So we have already executed this command for the all the remaining port. Now I'm going to change the scenario, right? So in the earlier slide, I have told you that we have one campus, right? And we have some buildings inside the campus, right? And I have to, and we earlier we discussed about the building a LAN network, right? But I want to create now LAN or VLAN for multiple buildings. Each building have one switch, right? Each building have a one switch, right? Okay, so now I want to create building A and building B. Between two building we required LAN connectivity. Okay, clear? So first of all we will configure the LAN network, right? Then building A also have a student and faculty, and building B also have a student and faculty, right? So later on I want some kind of scenario that building A student can communicate only with building B students, and building A faculty member can communicate with building B faculty member. Okay, so let's configure the scenario number 2, which is having two switches. See, this is building A, this is building B. There is a student here, there is a student here, there is a faculty here, there is a faculty here. Okay, let's do it in the same one. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to select this, and just a moment, let me put it in a proper location. Okay, so this is one switch. Now I'm going to add one more switch. Okay, and same number of computer also I'm going to connect. See, the color initially it's orange, right? And once there it will completely up, it will be green. Green, it means your port is now up. Okay, clear? Let me type. This is building A, and this is building B. Okay, let me add over here student 01. Same way, faculty underscore 01, faculty underscore 02. Okay, same way, let me, sorry, this is, let's assign now IP address. I think I forget to connect this one. Let's assign IP address. So we assign two range of IP addresses, not two range, but one range, but I have give the two bifurcation in that range, right? So here is a 1.1, 2.1, right? So same way I am going to continue for the students over here as well, right? Go to the desktop, IP address 10.0.1.3, right? Just press tab. Same way over here, desktop 10.0.0.1.4. You can take even same range IP address as well, not an issue, right? Our aim is to just create two separate VLAN, right? So 2.3, this one, okay, done. Desktop, assign IP address 10.0.2.4. Okay, now let's check they all are communicating with each other or not. So let me delete this. Successful, even from student to faculty successful, right? From admin to, it's a fail, it's a fail. Okay, now check reverse process, check reverse process, successful. Okay, clear. Now let's check from this VLAN to this VLAN. It's a fail. See, it's a fail. Let's check from this to this, right? Even you can check from reverse over here to here. Admin has a no functional port. Why? Let's check. Go inside desktop. You have seen that no IP addresses. That's why. Let me assign one IP address 10.0.1.5. Okay. Now it's working. See. Now if you can check, successful. Why you the student and faculty cannot send and receive and admin can receive? Because admin still are in a, or admin still is in a default VLAN. Okay, create now new VLAN at the other side for building B. So same process we have to follow, right? So I'm going to quickly execute the same command on a switch to perform the different VLAN, right? Now just go into CLI, enable, right? Configure terminal, right? VLAN number, it's a remain same. I'm going to create VLAN number 10, right? Name is equal to faculty, sorry, student, right? The same way, another VLAN I'm going to create, VLAN number 20, right? Name faculty, exit, exit. Now let's see, so VLAN. Okay, so here you can see student and faculty VLAN is now created. One more thing, I have to change the name of this switch. Configure terminal, host name, BUILDING building B. Okay, so this is building B switch, right? Now let's configure the Ethernet. So let me check the Ethernet port. So you have to click over here. It's a 02 for the first one, right? Then 03. So 2 and 3 for student. Okay, so let's go inside. Okay, so now configure terminal, Now interface fast Ethernet 0/2. Right now switch port mode access. Right, switch port access VLAN 10. Exit. Now again do the same thing. Interface fast Ethernet 0/3. Switch port mode access. Switch port access VLAN 10. Now two ports now in a student VLAN. Now same thing interface. Let me check the two interfaces. It's a 4 and 5. Okay, now it's a 4 and 5. Interface fast Ethernet 0/4. Switch port mode access. Switch port access VLAN 20. Okay, now switch, sorry, go back for fifth number point. Exit interface fast Ethernet 0/5. Switch port mode access. Switch port access VLAN 20. Now exit so VLAN and check. Yes, two ports are now created in a switch B. Now let's check, is it working or not. Let me remove this. So first of all we are going to check for student, it's successful. Now student to faculty, it's fail. Right, now check for the faculty to faculty. Wait for this port is not yet green. See, yes, now it's green. Now check, it's successful. Right, so it means that here also there are two VLAN created. Right, now let me add color code as well so you can have an idea. This is for faculty member, right, and this one is for student. Sorry, the color is a little dark. Right, so now our next task, to communicate student to student and faculty to faculty. So let's check, is it possible. Let me erase this. Obviously not. Right, why? Because here this port is still have a question mark. This port is belong to which VLAN? Either we can put fast Ethernet 0/6 either in a faculty VLAN or either in a student VLAN. Right now this 06 and 01 is in a default VLAN. Right, do you want to check this? Just go inside, click on enable, so VLAN, right, and check. Yes, see, this is the default VLAN and 06 in a default. So whenever you send packet, right, from here to here, your just let me see the real-time simulation as well. Right, so you have more idea. Let me clear this all. Right, and let's start. Right, so you can see the detail environment, see packet send. Right, next task, say it will send it to the student 2. Yes, now I'm going to show you the real capturing of packet from this place to this place. Okay, let's start one by one. See, it's a fail. Right, let me do the same thing from here to here. This is called acknowledgement concept. right? See, this is the status is clear, right? So guys, you have learned the ICMP protocol as well, right? So here you can see these are the list of protocol. If even you want to add some filter, you can do it over here as well. See, these are the list of protocol you can configure, right? ARP, ICMP, DNS, right? And these are the different protocol, IPsec, IoT, TCP, SMTP, STP, TCP, UDP, right? IPv6 protocol is also available, right? So if you want to do some detail analysis of detail, not analysis, but detail like way of sending packet and receiving which packet first transfer from one cast or like we can say source to destination, then it will help you a lot to understand from this specific filter part. This is called real-time simulation. Okay, so you have to just drag and drop the packet, then you can easily check. Okay, clear? Let me erase everything, right? Let me switch to the real. Now our main question is that what to do if I have a multiple switches and I want to do this, like between student to student and faculty to faculty, or from building A student can communicate with building B students, then what to do, right? So this is the question mark, right? So this is not possible, right? So question mark, what we can do? So now we have a two solution. Now we have a two solution, right? So as I told you, by default switch port are in a VLAN 1, or we can see in a default VLAN, right? So what to do? So we have a two solution. First solution is called access port, right? So I have told you, right? So I will explain the access port detail later on when we discuss the next scenario. So access port are part of only one VLAN and normally used for terminating end devices like PC, laptop, or we can say printer. So this is one solution, right? So here you can see this is building A, this is building B, and we have a two valent student faculty, right? So in earlier we have only one connectivity and that is in a default, but now we have to create two different connectivity between switches, and we have to again switch that port in a specific student VLAN and this specific port in a faculty VLAN. Same way on a other side as well. Okay, so here you can see this is the type of link is only part of one VLAN, right? And it's referred to as a native VLAN of port. Okay, let's configure this. So right now I'm going to just create one more connectivity. Okay, and now let's check. See, meanwhile, let me work on a port 6 and port 01. So let's go inside. We have to execute the same list of command, right? What we have done earlier, the same thing we have to do it. Configure terminal, right? Interface, fast Ethernet. Which port we have? 0/6. I'm going to put the first port in a student VLAN, that's 06. Okay, now in this specific switch port mode access, right, I'm going to give only this specific port access to the student, that's why I have used word access. Okay, now switch port access VLAN 10. See, the status is changed, it's from now green to orange, and after 1 or 2 seconds or 3 seconds it will be back to the orange, green, right? Clear? Now let's configure for other part of the switch for building B, right? So this is building A switch, and on our right hand side the building B, you can see the name over here as well, right? So which port here it is 01, right? So let's check. Configure terminal interface fast Ethernet 0/1 switch port mode access switch port access VLAN 10. Okay, now it's done. Let's check. We are going to check port number 06 and 01. So in this VLAN, let me execute command show VLAN and we will check the third port is added or not. Show VLAN. See, here is now three ports. right? Same way in a building B also you can check exit, exit, so VLAN. See, these are the three ports, 1, 2, and 3. Now let's see. Let me erase this. Now I'm going to send packet from building A student to building B student. See, this is now successful. Same way from building B to building A student back. This is successful. Now let me check. Is it for working? Sorry. Let me click on from faculty to faculty. No, it failed. Why? Because these ports are still in a default VLAN. Right. So again, we are going to do for ports 07 and 06 the same thing. Right. So let me repeat this command again. Configure terminal interface fast Ethernet 0/7. Right now, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. Please remember a VLAN number. It's very important. Otherwise, you will not send and receive the packet. So this is done from switch A. Now let's click on a switch B and let's see the same thing over here. It's a port number 06. Configure terminal interface fast Ethernet 0/6 switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. Okay, now this port are also added. Now let's check once the green dot, orange dot converted into the triangle green, then we will check. Let me erase this. Wait and watch what exactly going on. Yes, now it's green. Here I'm going to send now between two faculty. See, it's now successful. Now it's successful. Right, so what we learned that if you have multiple switches as well, you have a two solution. The first solution we have implemented, right? But again, this is not feasible. Why? For example, I have uh, 20 computers over here, 20 here, right? And I have like uh, 5 different VLAN, or 5 over here, 5 over here. So we have total 24 ports, right, in a both switch, right? So just make addition. We have a 20 number of computers, so we are going to connect 20 over here, and we have a 5 different VLANs, right? So number of VLAN, that is nothing but number of separate connectivity between the switches, right? So 5 VLANs over here, right? You are going to create so 20 ports connected to the switch, and this 20 we are going to divide in the 5 different part, and that 5 different connectivity we are required over here. So it is very complex and tedious task. You have to manually create number of connectivity between two switches. Okay, so what is the solution of this problem? Trunk mode. See, whatever number of VLAN you have in a both side, you can merge it in a one specific port, that is called trunk, right? So trunk is work completely reverse of access solution or access port. Trunk can carry multiple VLANs. Trunk can carry multiple VLANs, and this carry the traffic of multiple VLANs, and the speed, or we can say trunk link, is started from 100 to 1000 Mbps point to point link between two switches, between two switches. So here you can see these are the two switch where you can perform this command, right? And I will explain between switch and router in our next scenario, right? Even you can perform between switch and router as well. Okay, so now let's configure the this solution, we can say trunk, right? So trunk, again let me add a few more things. Like trunk port are generally used in a switch to switch, which I have already told you, or switch to router, right? So trunk carry multiple VLAN across the devices and maintain VLAN tags. That is very important, right? So let me change color and yes. So here you can see, guys, when you have a multiple VLAN over here. So right, so what basically you will see in this specific scenario. So whatever number of packets are coming to different VLAN, that is merged over here, right? So for example, student packets and faculty packets. So both packets are in a sending from this specific one LAN, right? So this VLAN sending two student packet and five faculty packet, right? But when they send, how this switch came to know that I have to forward the two student packet on a student VLAN and three faculty packet on a faculty VLAN, right? So for that, the trunk function will also assign tag of different VLANs. So when data received from VLAN 1, or we can say VLAN student, it will assign the tag of students. If data coming from faculty, it will assign the tag of faculty member, right? So here you can say data is transferred, right, with the help of specific tag, right? And same way, once the data is received over here, this switch will bifurcate based on this tag, right? And it will redirect to the specific VLAN, right? So this is also the unique functionality of trunk port, right, where you can see the different type of tags that assign to the specific VLAN when the trunk port is going to forward data to another side. Okay, now let's configure this one by one. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here because I have to configure the same topology once again. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to remove this two connectivity from here, right? So let me remove this. Okay. Now I'm going to create only one connectivity. Okay. Now let me open the slide and let me perform the trunk functions. We have a trunk functionality here, right? So you can see. So what you have to do when you perform the trunk functions, right? So first of all, you are in a configuration mode. You have to go in a specific terminal. So again, we have to check which terminal that port is connected. The new connect is 06 and 01. All right. So let me go back. Let me go back and just go to the specific port of a switch port, or we can see in a building a switch, right? And parallelly open this list of commands, so even you can also see and even I can also type from it. See, it's not necessary to remember all the commands all the times, but once you will have a practice, you will be automatically like used to with this command, right? So now here you can see earlier we have used switch port mode axis. Instead of axis we have to use trunk, right? Are you getting my point? Yes. Now here you have to type allow VLAN 10. I think something is not working. Oh, spell mistake. Just a moment. Let me check switch port mode trunk. Right. So just see the movement of trunk port, right? So you will get more idea. It will take some time to switch your port from one VLAN to another VLAN, right? So here you can see, Okay, now let's go the same thing. You have to add all the number of VLAN over here, right? So first of all, in this specific port, you have to type VLAN 10, not allowed, simple VLAN 10. Interface, fast Ethernet, 0/6, enter. We are in a configuration mode, question mark. What you can do, just check switch, port, mode, trunk, right? VLAN 10 or switch mode trunk allowed switch mode trunk allowed VLAN 10. It's invalid. Let me check. My command is wrong. Let me go back to the topology and let me see the port 06. Okay, let me execute the same thing over here as well. So this is switch B. I think I have executed the wrong command over here. Please guys make sure that you will have a specific like tag on a switch configuration, so it will be easy to like track. So interface fast ethernet 0/1, right? So here you can see now we are in this specific mode, switch mode trunk, right? Clear? Now let me check. I think something goes wrong, but still let me try. See, when you have a lots of troubleshooting, you guys like have a idea, right? What's going wrong. So here we are also going to do the same thing, right? It will take some time. Yes, it is working. It is working, right? Now let me show you one more thing. We have performed the trunk command, right? We have performed trunk command. So here you can see when you click on show VLAN, you will not find port 06 anywhere. See this, not even here, not even in this whole specific list. Okay, because it's trunk, not part of any specific VLAN, not part of any specific VLAN, right? Now if you want to see the so more detail, so then type question mark. Here you will have all the details. See, right? Even if you want to see the switch port detail, terminal detail, right? Or so interface, again question mark. Now type switch port and you can see these are the all the details. Why? Yeah, that is for Ethernet port wise, right? Clear, right? Okay. Somewhere you will see the mode is a trunk mode is a on, right? This is port 10, right? But same way, if you can see the port 0, 1, 2, 3, right? Switch port is enabled and administrative trunking encapsulation is dotted. Let me identify. Yes, this one. See, switch port is enabled. Administrative mode is access, static access, right? Operational mode is static access, right? Trunking is a dot 1q. 1q it means there is a tag they have assigned. Why? Because we have performed the trunk command, right? The same way, let's check port 06. Yes, see, administrative mode is trunk, and here you can see administrative mode is auto. right? And here you can see administrative mode is access. So this port is for our end device port, right? And this is the trunk port. That's why you will find all these details, guys, all these details, right? So trunk will also help you to assign the tag. As I told you, if you have a number of VLAN, they will give you the number of tag. Okay. Now let me go back. Now my next question is that I want to make communication between student and faculty now. This is my later on requirement. I want to make a communication between student and faculty, right? So but obvious that VLAN, it's a completely now separate network, right? As you seen that switch is same, IP addresses are same, but we create two virtual VLAN. So virtual LAN, it means it's like separate virtual network, right? And you know that if you want to make communication between two network, you require router, right? So let's go. Right, so as I told you, this is the best solutions of trunking the connectivity. See, this is the trunk part, right? So all your data of the student and faculty is merged together along with the tag, forward it to the other side. Based on tag, the switch is going to redirect your data to specific VLAN, right? Now my next task is inter-VLAN configuration. Okay, what we have to do now, inter-VLAN, right? So inter-VLAN, it means you are going to make communication between student and faculty. Okay, now some of you say, sir, why we require this, right? So sometime, for example, one student is a representative of their class and one faculty member is coordinating that class. So I want to make communication between this specific faculty to this specific student. So in that case, I have to first enable the communication between two network. Yes or no? Right? So in that case, you have to use one router, right? How to configure this? Let's see this way. Now, please, first thing you have to remember. Have you remember? I have told you that you can do the trunk between two switches and between switch and router. So we have already configured and tested. Now, second part is switch and router. See, this is the switch and router between, or we can say trunk between switch and router. Right? Are you getting my point? So what we will do, right? We will add one router, we connect with the switch, right? And in this specific port, we are going to divide in a two virtual part, right? So we have one port and we are going to divide it in a two virtual part. One virtual part is a part of one VLAN and another virtual part of another VLAN, right? And we configure the routing over here. So are you ready? So let's do it. So this is our earlier configuration, right? So now I'm going to add one router over here, right? So here you can see this is my router. I'm going to connect this router to the specific port, right? Now, before I start this configuration, I would like to explain one point. So here you can see this is our router, right? This is our switch, right? And here there are two VLANs are connected, VLAN 2, and this is our port, right? So this port is virtually divided into the two parts, right? For example, the actual name of this port is Giga Ethernet 0/0, right? But we divide this port into virtual part. It's called 0/0.1 and 0.0.2. Okay, so this specific port or part is a network of this VLAN, and this specific virtual port is a part of this network. Okay, so when you will send a packet or try to send a message, your request first goes to switch through this trunk will add the tag of this is VLAN 10 or student, and then it will forward it to the router will find out the specific VLAN for you. It is part of VLAN 2, or we can say faculty. It reverses back to this port and forward it to the respective VLAN. Okay, so let's go and start. Just click on this. Yes, so before I start the configuration of router, I would like to show you the basic part. Yes, so this is, you can see the back view of your router, right? So here there is a one switch, right? So again, in your router at your home, right, just check it, just turn it back and just see that there are two switches are there. One is for restart the router, another one is for reset the router. Once you reset, it means your all the configurations are completely erased, right? But restart, it means that it only power off and on, right? So here you can see there is only one switch in a packet tracer right now. So here you can see if you turn off, it will erase your all the configuration, and if you turn on again, turn off and turn on again, it will boot your device from the fresh, as a fresh device, right? So here I'm going to off this switch, right, and I'm going to on it. Now I'm going to click on CLI. See, it is now start booting, right? See, this is start booting. So it will take 1 or 2 minutes hardly, and you will get is ready. And see, this is ready, right? So now type no, right? This is user execution mode. Same terminal, same topology we have to, or same kind of execution we have to do. Let me open the screen, right? So again, we are going to assign enable terminal first, configure terminal, configure terminal, right? So we are going to talk about this one, this specific terminal we are going to discuss, right? Giga Ethernet. So here you can see interface Giga Ethernet 0/0.1. See, I'm going to classify this, right? No shutdown, encapsulation help you to assign the tag. I'm going to add this specific virtual interface into student VLAN, right? Now assign IP address, that is 10.0.1.6, right, or 1.5, right? 255.255.255.0. See, this is a class A IP address, but here I have used the default subnet mask as a like class C, right? So this is the CIDR concept of subnetting, right? So classless interdomain routing. Yeah, you will learn this part in a network layer, right? And you have some idea when you deal with some calculation of subnetting of IP address and all that. Okay, now click on enter. Do same thing for another one, right? Execute interface giga ethernet 0/0.2. See, no shutdown, it means you are going to activate your virtual terminal of G0/0.2. If you execute shutdown command, it means your specific port is going to deactivate, right? You won't able to perform any kind of operation on that port, right? Shutdown, it means you are going to activate that port. Okay, now assign, sorry, encapsulation 20 for faculty member, IP address 10.0.2.5, 255.255.255.0, right? Now exit. Okay, now let me switch to the view, right? So here you can see, still these port are not in a green color, or we can say not active yet, right? So once you have configured virtual terminal, you have to work on a physical terminal too, right? So what I'm going to do, just see interface giga ethernet 0/0, right? Now I'm going to manually activate this command menu port, right? See, once I will enter, the color of this port is going to change. See, is it? Yes. Okay, now just wait for 1 or 2 minutes, not 1 or 2 minutes, almost like 30-40 seconds, right? Then you will see you can send and receive the data. Okay, before that, here I would like to explain one more thing. This is the campus, right? You are in part of this campus, this is your laptop, you are accessing some internal softwares and internal networking sites and all that. But if you want to access some Google, Facebook, or some resources or some websites from the internet, in that case every specific organization or institution have a one entry exit point that is called gateway, right? It's called gateway, from where you can enter into the network, from where you can out from the network. Okay, so here this is the router is an entry exit of the network, right? So we must know entry exit point, right? We, in the sense, your computer, your end device must know about the gateway address from where that request goes out and come in, right? So even in your laptop you just open cmd and type ipconfig, right? ipconfig. See, this is the default gateway, right? If you want to send your request out of your network, this gateway will address will help you. Okay, so same way in our topology as well, we have to add the student computers having the student gateway, right? And faculty computers must have a faculty gateway, right? So here you can see we have a ports. One is for faculty, one is for student. So first one is for student, that is 1.5, and 2.5 is for faculty. So you have to go in every single computer and you have to configure this. See, I have added it, right? Same way you have to do it over here as well, right? Same way in a faculty member as well, right? See, okay, clear? Now let's test it. Is it working or not? Take one packet, right? It's failed. Let's try one more time. It's failed. Any guesses? Yes. This port is not yet trunk, right? So let's do it once again. Enable, configure terminal, then type interface, fast ethernet 0/6 switch port mode trunk, done. Right? Now let's do the ping from one network to another network. Go inside the command prompt, right? Just type ping 10.0.0 1.5. Ping is coming, right? Now let's type 2.5. Ping is coming. Yes. Now let's type IP address of one of the faculty member computer. It's a 2.3. Ping is coming. No, not yet. Let's wait. See, it's coming. Sometime you have to wait. Okay, please remember. See, my first packet is facing the timeout request, but from the second, it's working. Right? Now let's start with the packet. Okay. So from here to here, it's successful. From here to here, it's a successful. See, now inter-VLAN communication is ready. Right? Let me check. The port is enabled. Yes. Right? Even you can send from here to here as well. So it's successful. Right? So this is all about inter-VLAN. Right? So here you can see these are the some benefit of inter-VLAN, or we can say VLAN, right? So provide additional security. Additional security, as I have told you, that if you want some kind of like specific configuration for students and specific configuration for faculty member, in that case you can do that. Okay, one more thing, even you can also have this kind of VLAN. You just have to assign, for example, these are the two VLANs, right? And in this there are list of the users, or we can say number of network connections out there. But if you want to apply some rules, you can directly apply to this VLAN, so it will by default apply to all the connected computer in this VLAN, right? You won't require to do it for manually for each and every user, right? So provide additional security to the network communications among the work group within organization, right? Work group in the sense student work group and faculty work group, right? Easy and flexible expansion and reallocation of network devices as well as the working group, or we can say work group. Allow network administrator to configure the network in a centralized environment, right? But obvious, it will reduce your network latency, right? Traffic load on a network and network devices. So it will indirectly improve your performance. right? Yes, this is one application. We can say real-time services such as a voice over IP, or we can say video streaming, can be set up in a separate VLAN, right? So it won't be affected by other network or traffic of other computers, right? Traffic from other computers. So be isolated from network congestion due to the traffic from other data types. Clear? Okay. So this is all about VLAN, right? Later on, you will learn about the DNS as well, right? So keep watching this tutorial, and if you have any doubt, you can comment. Thank you.